Hello there and welcome to a sudden upload because LEGO have just released 3 brand new sets coming out March the 1st, and one of this, I've seen your comments in the live streams, I've seen your comments on the Cullen House, a few of you have been waiting for it. But before we get to that Lilo and Stitch house, first I'd like to take a look at a surprise appearance in Cinderella's dress, £35 retail here in the UK, and all the other prices will be at the bottom of your screen. If there is a currency that I am missing out, let me know down in the comments and I'll be sure to add it for the next one. But at 474 pieces, this is actually a pretty decent set. I'm not a fan of a lot of the Disney and Friends sets, and that's nothing against the mini dolls they include. They're just not aimed at me personally. I really like the Star Wars helmets, and if we got something like this, some sort of Star Wars bust, I'm sure that would also catch my eye. But I really like the way that the dresses here have been put together. And I say dresses plural because we do have another set. But the base of this, I'm not quite sure what you'd call this. It's like some sort of mannequin that a dress can go around. But I know there is a specific name for that, and if my cousin's watching this video, I'm sure she's shouting it at the screen. But in the base, we get 2, if not 3 little cubby holes, one of which is just on screen now. It's some sort of tea party, or perhaps it's the washing up that Cinderella is yet to do. And the other one appears to be a sewing machine, which is another chore that Cinderella has been left to do. But there's also a cupboard, which I guess is hidden around the back. We don't really get a good look from this angle, but you can actually get the mini doll, not just Cinderella, but the little mouse that she also comes with. And I really like how LEGO are using the bases of these models, or some of the other Wicked and Wednesday sets have different features that can be hidden in the base, and I'd love to see this more with Star Wars, especially ships like the Onyx Cinder, which right at the front here, we have this whole panel that has so much space that hasn't been used. And I even make use of the back end in my modifications video. But the other dress set that we got is Maleficent and Cruella de Vil's dresses. Slightly more expensive than the last one, £60 for only an extra 100 or so pieces, which I guess the pieces here are definitely much larger than the other ones. So their price per gram probably adds up between the two of them. But we do get Maleficent, Cruella de Vil. We get a little Dalmatian with Cruella, and I think it's some sort of crow with Maleficent. I can't say I really pair any animal other than a dragon with her, and to include a dragon would definitely have upped the price if we've learned anything from the Red Hulk. But again, in the base of the dress mannequin, we do get 2 different cubby holes that swing open, probably packed with a little interior for each of the characters and room to store not only the minifigure, but also the pet companion. And the dresses are interchangeable. It seems that they have the picture of each of these Disney villains on each side, so you can turn it 180 degrees depending which dress is on display. And to be fair, you could probably get 2 or build another base to display the other dress. So it's nice that LEGO have not included another base and kept it down at £60, especially when you consider the fact that the Cinderella dress is priced at almost half of this value. But I'm not going to leave you waiting any longer. You probably clicked on this video to take a look at and see my opinion on the Lilo and Stitch Beach House for £80, slightly more expensive than the rest, but we've got a range, £35, then £60, now £80. It's nice to see sets all over in terms of price, and I'll have all other prices at the bottom of your screen. £80 doesn't seem too bad when we compare it to similar sets like the Up House, which is £50 at retail and still available in most places. It looks to be about half the size compared to the Lilo and Stitch house. It's just over half the price and includes about half the minifigures, so I guess that adds up. But speaking of minifigures, this set comes with 6 with a little question mark or perhaps an asterisk over the top, because one of those minifigures is Lilo's doll that Stitch sort of adopts throughout the movie and is definitely alive because we see it turn back and look directly down the camera during one of the scenes. I'm sure you know the one that I'm talking about. As for the other characters, we are getting Mr. Bubbles, had to be included in this set, and David and Nani or Nani. I don't remember the names of these characters. I just had a quick look in the description, which thankfully is a lot more filled, and there is so much more information compared to the one line of the Cullen House. Speaking of the Cullen House, we get a better look at the interior of this, which isn't just a few rendered images. and instead actually shows off quite a detailed, or at least a load of different areas on the interior. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I guess I'm not sure if I count the door, this little subsection, or the attic, as they don't seem to be big enough to include minifigures. But what I'll be really interested in is if they include I think it was a dishwasher that they turned into a cupboard, or a washing machine that they turned into a cupboard, on some different regional variations of the movie, which you can now watch on Disney Plus. But it seems to be jam-packed of a ton of different details of the interior. There's also a ton of different features and brick-built items that you can pull out from the set, which is really, really nice in terms of play. And for display, I really hope that there's some sort of element, some clear translucent element that allows you to position Stitch's little spaceship of sorts hanging off or flying past the house, because that would be really cool. And there's definitely a few points I can see that connection being made. Again, we're seeing the return of that surrounding that I bought up in the Cullen house. We've seen it on the Snow White cottage as well. The few little trees. I'm not quite sure why it just scrolled down one. The trees, the scenery, and even the outdoor fence that we saw on the Up house really brings the location as well as the house, though might be a pain if you're trying to integrate this in part of a bigger Lego city and don't have the space for that extra detail. But because this is part of the Disney theme and isn't icons, ideas, it should be available in most Lego stores, unless this ends up being a UK exclusive in Smith's, for example. But as long as it's not an exclusive, again, coming out March the 1st, it should also go on sale pretty heavily towards the end of the year. For instance, the Up house that I bought up earlier is found most places for £40 odd, and I think the same will be true about this. £70, maybe 65, as low as 60 for Black Friday is definitely a purchase I don't think we can be passing on. And though Lilo has also came in this Magic of Disney set, which is again £90, just a bit more expensive than the Lilo and Stitch house, and I'm not quite sure if it is the same Lilo. We'll have to wait for some better images, as Lego doesn't like to show off a lot of the minifigures. In fact, I'm pretty sure the old Lilo didn't come with any legs. I think this set is going to sell really, really well, especially coming off the back of another expensive buildable Stitch. Lego must know that Lilo and Stitch sets are in high demand at the minute. If we were to get a follow-up to this set, I think getting some sort of spaceship is a must for Lilo and Stitch. Pack it full of different aliens, and I'm sure there are a ton of other references in this set, and they'll likely add them to any other Lilo and Stitch set. So hopefully this isn't the last Lilo and Stitch set, and I do hope to add this to my display at some point. Stay tuned for that. But if you'd like to see more Lego Star Wars content, be sure to hit subscribe. Thank you for making it to the end of this video. May the bricks be with you always.